This week I am once again back in the kitchen slash sail loft after I did our stack pack last time. I promised you that I was going to be doing an awning for our cockpit the next one, and luckily that was a nice easy one just to kind of push through, so I've got that to show you. And it is in the same ginkgo green Sunbrella color that we did the stack pack in. That is the color that we've chosen, and some of you have kindly referred to it as puke green, poop green, shit green, or just that really disgusting color. So thank you for your encouragement on that. Instead of going through the steps as I'm putting it together, I thought I would just show you the finished project of what I've been working on the past week. So I'm going to just set it out on the floor here and kind of show you all of the different things, which may not make a lot of sense until we get it up, because it's not like most biminis. We're not using a metal frame at all. It's going to be mostly freestanding with attachments at the front and back part. So let me show that to you. Now I know this is going to look really neon green in here just because of the lighting. Of course we have another rainy, overcast day outside. It doesn't help that in here we've got the bright fluorescent lighting. Our green canvas actually does tend to match the wall here. I promise it looks better in natural lighting. But this is the inside part that you would see if you were sitting in the cockpit looking up. It's a little more narrow in the forward part where it attaches to the hard dodger and widens as it comes out to the back, where we're going to attach it to the frame where our solar panel and radar sit. Let me jump down and show you some of the closer details to it. So across the front here we added a strip. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I'll try and find the name and write it at the bottom. But this slides into a track that we have on our hard dodger, and that's what keeps it in place up there. If you can tell from the panel too, I did have to use a few pieces of fabric because, especially with our remnants and the width and length, I didn't have enough to do everything. So it's 3 panels sewn together. So it's pretty simple and self-explanatory, just a nice folded seam going along the edge here towards the aft end, where once again we made room for a PVC pipe to go through to add some structure and hold it up. So I made about a 2.5-inch opening here, which I cover the end in piping, and then we just slide our tube in here. And this is a piece of 1-inch wide webbing, which we're going to tie to the back, and that's going to get tied to the frame. If you see the string here, it follows along the whole inside of this, and that's because we have a friend with a similar design, and they say that they really like it, but sometimes there can be a fluttering of the edges with the wind. So I still have to add a cleat back here for it to attach to, but you can just pull this string and it will help make this a bit more taut. So if you do get that fluttering in the wind, that will cut down on it. Because we have the split back stay, I did have to make an opening for it to slide in there. So we waited until we were just about done and then rolled it out and marked the points, and then I did a slit with my hot knife up here. Added some webbing for strength, and this is where the back stay will sit. Clean up the edges and piping. Of course we had to make slits where the PVC pipe is coming through, so did a bit of piping reinforcement there. As you can see, there's another webbing piece here and one more on the other end, so we're going to have 3 attachment points where it ties off to the aft frame. So now flipped it out, so if you were looking down at our boat from a bird's eye view, this is how you would see it. And in the center here I've done some 1-inch webbing, just a loop in the center here, and then one of our halyards will connect to that and just keep it taut in that space. But overall it was a pretty simple design, so time to get this up on the boat and see what it looks like in real life. And not this bright neon green that is showing on the camera, because I promise it is a pretty color in real life. Here is our new canvas up in place. As you can tell, it's being held up in the front by the track, which I'll give you a close-up of in a second. The middle part has the halyard holding up, and then the ends here are tied off. I did a 1-inch webbing with some string that's just getting tied off to our post for the radar. We've inserted a 1/2-inch piece of PVC going through here to give some structure at the back. And then you can also see, if I can get tall enough, let me stand on the coaming here. We've got the slits there for the back stays. And so we just kind of put this up to test right now. I know there's probably still going to be some adjustments to see how it will eventually sit. So with the adjustments, we still have to do the track. We started out just by doing the full length, and I suppose I probably could have come out a little bit further, but we'll end up trimming the track a little bit here. Although you can see how that piece of fabric that I had sewn to the front just slides in there easily. And we'll add a stopper piece here so that when it's in place it can't, not that it really will once all the other parts are attached, but so that it won't have the slide back and forth, it will just stay there. And for the moment it gives a nice airy feel. It still lets all of the breeze through, although when the sun is not high in the sky, obviously we're going to have it coming through the sides. So one of the other projects I'll be working on soon as far as canvas is that we're going to make panels that will come down, and the twist locks that we used on the mainsail cover on the stack pack will have the twists attached here, and then I'll have other pieces with eyelets that we can attach, and then they'll connect here and then go out to the lifelines, just a hook that will kind of snag on there, so that way if the sun is coming down on one side we can put that shade there. I don't think we're going to do the perforated fabric like we had on our last boat, Serendipity, so we won't be able to see through it, but we should only be using those while we're at anchor anyway, so it won't really matter. It'll be kind of a beneficial privacy and sun blocker. So one more piece of canvas done. More usable cockpit space now. We can actually kind of sit outside here and not just burn under the midday sun. So eventually the Dodger will be left, but we still have a lot of planning and figuring out what we're going to do with different blocks. And again, these pads that we don't think are going to be used, possibly the Traveler will be going away, so that's going to configure where the fabric's going to come out for the Dodger. So that's going to be a ways down the road, but we are on our way to having new canvas on the boat and usable area on the cockpit.
Of course, since we like to do things twice, we tried raising the staysail the other day, and it is probably 3 to 4 inches too tall. Somehow, I don't know how they used it previously, but you can't get the tension right in the halyard. It tried shackling it down as taut as possible, as tight as possible down on the edge. So the LP and the foot look good. It's just actually the luff that is too long. So what we're going to end up doing is measuring it right now, and then I'll start my search for a used sail. That's what fits our budget. So once I have that information, then I can kind of go through the list of all the used sails that are online and find one that's going to be a little bit shorter. Hopefully the rest of the dimensions are close, and we can make that work for a while until we're able to save up enough for new head sail and staysail. But this is basically what it is. Just like usual, we'll play around with it a few times and figure out what's going to work, at least temporarily at this point. So we got a new toy, a DJI Mavic Pro drone. It was something that we have been looking at for quite some time, but finances just weren't there, of course. So thankfully, we were able to get one, and we got a pretty good deal on it through Cabela's. Reason why we chose this particular drone over some of the others is 4K camera, so wonderful picture. Adjustable gimbal, so it keeps it nice and steady. So when I'm doing a horrible job keeping a nice steady camera, this will make up for it pretty good. The other thing too is the range of this. Now in the US, for the FAA, the flight rules, we do have to be able to see it, so it's got to be always within sight. Once we get outside the US and we get into some of the other countries, especially when we get to areas with beautiful scenery, islands, so on and so forth.
And no power lines. And
no power lines, yeah, too. The cool thing is we can fly it up to, actually I just checked, it's 4.3 miles that it can fly to. So with the little camera here, you can see what's going on a phone that's connected to it, and basically see what's out there. We did get 2 batteries, so we do have quite a bit of flight time, 27 minutes.
Yeah, each battery is about 25 minutes.
Yeah, about 25 minutes is what we're actually getting out of it. Sensors in it as well, so it looks down when it's going to land to see if what it's landing on is actually going to be even pavement or if it's rough pavement, and so it won't land on it. Really a smart system. Sensors in the front to help avoid collisions. The neat thing too with this particular one versus some of the others that they sell, DJI sells, is the size of this thing. Obviously it's a nice little small compact area. We can throw it in a backpack, go to shore. Yeah, just about pocket size. We can go to shore. We don't have to second guess bringing this item with us. We can just always have it with us. This and the rest of the camera gear. What it does, I'll set it down. It actually folds out. So you flip out the rotors. And this is it. That's our new little guy, new little toy. Yeah. The propellers automatically spin out when you open it, the remote control. And then Jessica's brother was kind enough to give us his old iPhone, and so we attached that. That's actually what we're using. We still don't have a cell phone. It's just for this, but works well for that. And we did get a accident insurance too for the first year. So as long as we can retrieve it, it doesn't sink to the bottom of the ocean, we'll be all right. Some of the things I've read too is there's fishing pole flotation devices that you can get, and they're actually just little things that you attach to the arms, and as soon as they sense water they inflate, just like an inflatable life vest, but it's enough to raise this to the surface. It would obviously be ruined, but if you can retrieve it, we can send it back in and the insurance will cover it, and then we can have a new one.
Because I don't think we know of a single vlogger that hasn't lost their first drone within the first year.
Yeah, everybody loses them, so we think this is probably well spent insurance.
It was worth $100.
Yeah, it was $100, so I mean, well worth it. The big thing is, and just to forewarn everyone, Jess and I lack hand-eye coordination. Neither of us was raised on video games, unfortunately, so our skill level is extremely, extremely low. When I want to go up, you go flying up. When I want to turn, it is turning all the way around.
We actually get sick watching these videos.
Yeah, I have zero finesse with the controller, so I'm trying to get better about slight inputs. To change direction and so on and so forth. So for the first few videos of this, it's going to be very short clips, so it's not nauseating for everyone. But yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. So display, the iPhone showing the video, showing exactly what's going on. It also shows how high the device is, which right now it's at 0. It shows the distance the drone is away from us. It gives us all of our pertinent information, battery life, so on and so forth.
Has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Talks to us, yells at us. Actually, it yells at us majority of the time. Then a map showing exactly where it is. Neat thing with this too is if it loses connection to this, it knows where it started from, or it knows where the controller, depending on how you set up, and it actually will fly home to you on a preset course. So the way we have it set right now is it goes up to about 90 feet. If it loses a connection, goes up to 90 feet, comes over, and then comes down back and lands right where you were. We've never lost the signal. Again, that's if you're a long, long ways away, or if there's interference or a battery issue. To start it, we just pull down.
Take off.
Comes up, start raising it. And again, it'll just hover all day long if you want it to, or until the battery dies. Again, all the little sensors there, so it starts yelling as soon as it sees me. If I put my hand under it, it will actually automatically raise itself up. So now the controls, we're able to bring it forward, back, make it shimmy on the same plane, so the same angle, make it go left, right, port, starboard, whatever you want to call it. Then you can just rotate it as well. So height adjustment over on this joystick, raise, lower, and then rotate. That's it.
He's an angry little guy.
Angry sounding little beast.